I don't think he's going to put up the statistics that you want from your QB1. So for a long time.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football Freaks. I am Jason, he's Vaz, and today we are going over our positional rankings, starting off with quarterback. As the NFL draft is done, we know where the players are going in terms of the rookies, and we want to see how they fit into the overall rankings with the veterans. Do note that these rankings are based on a 12-team SuperFlex Dynasty. So the quarterbacks generally are ranked higher, but because we're doing just positional rankings today anyways, it's not going to affect their cross-section with other positions. But do note that all of these rankings, as we go over all four major positions, will be based on SuperFlex rankings. Vaz, before we get started, anything else that you want to mention based on how you came up with your rankings?
Okay, so of course, we did a rankings video about a month ago, so I had something to go off of. But I think what's important to note here is that we have had the NFL draft now. So after the dust is settled with that, I've been able to update my rankings slightly and then put the rookies in where they should belong in my opinion. So that's been the major change, is just adding the rookies into the rankings. And then I'd like to say that for today, I don't think I'm going to discuss the players in depth. I want to get through the video as quickly as possible, but I'll try to take a little bit of time to discuss why I've put those rookies where I've put them.
Okay, and we're going to do this based on tiers. So let's start off with our first tier, which includes, obviously, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, just the two of them. Why just the two, and who do you want to talk about here?
Okay, so I don't need to talk about either of them, I don't think. I think this is pretty easy. You know, if you have pick 101 or 102 in a startup, you're probably going Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. If you really love, Jalen Hurts, or if you really love Lamar Jackson, sure, you could take them at 102, I think. I think Josh Allen should be 101, though, in every startup, in my opinion. I think he's probably the best quarterback for 2024, and then he's also young and a fantastic player, so in Dynasty as well.
Okay, I actually have them the other way around. I've got Mahomes 1 and I've got Allen 2. And my reasoning for that was I just felt like Mahomes was helped out more in the offseason, adding Hollywood Brown as well as through the draft, adding Worthy. Whereas Allen, in the offseason, they've gotten rid of Diggs as well as Gabe Davis. They made some additions, but does that worry you at all? And how close do you put these two guys?
It doesn't worry me at all because I've watched, Josh Allen crush it for so long. And the reason I have Josh Allen at 1 is because of his legs. He offers so much on the ground, including rushing touchdowns, that he's just like a cheat code at that position. So I want to win championships, and we saw last year that Patrick Mahomes is capable of having a down year, whereas we haven't seen that from Josh Allen. I think he's finished as a quarterback 1 or 2 for 4 consecutive seasons. So we know he's a league winner, and he's still young. He's very, very talented. There's no question he's going to be around for the next 10 years. So Josh Allen's the easy one for me.
Okay. Tier number 2 has Lamar, Stroud, and Hurts. Who you want to talk about here?
Okay, so again, I don't want to talk a lot about any of these guys. I just want to get through it as quickly as possible. But I think most people would probably have Stroud ahead of Lamar. So I'll mention that quickly. I value rushing potential in a quarterback quite significantly. So that's why I have Lamar at 3. He's also coming off an MVP season, and I think he's got a lot more in him. Clearly, he's the best player in the NFL right now. So people that say, he's going to have for example, a Cam Newton type fall off at the end, around age 32 or 33, I don't believe that. He's got a much stronger arm than Cam ever had. And even though he's running a bit less, he's still, capable of running for 700-800 yards in a season. And, that kind of rushing production is such a cheat code at the quarterback position. So I have Lamar at 3. I'm thrilled to get Stroud at 4. So if I'm in a startup and I have a top 4 pick, I'm so happy to get Stroud at 4 because of his youth.
Yeah, and I think, adding Derrick Henry, to that lineup in Baltimore. His rushing ability and his home run ability, I really think, are going to make the defenders cheat on him a little bit more. And every now and then, when they do that read option and Lamar takes it the other way, I mean, he's going to be gone. Like their rushing attack is just going to be absolutely amazing. I love both of those guys, especially for redraft this season. Your next tier has Burrow and Caleb. So our first rookie comes in at 6th overall in tier number 3 for you.
Yeah, did I have Caleb ahead of Burrow or behind
No,
him?
you've got Burrow at 6 and then Caleb at 7.
Yeah, correct. So, I mean, like for me, you can flip flop these guys if you want. There, I've seen Burrow do it. I know he's a great quarterback. He's got great weapons. So I have Burrow ahead of him, but like I mean, Caleb is the same thing. We know he's a phenomenal prospect with great weapons. So like if you know you really want that shiny new toy, you could grab Caleb at 5 or 6. I think like he's an excellent pick in startups for Dynasty.
Yeah, certainly got youth on his side compared to all the other top quarterbacks, at least by a little bit. Your next tier includes 2 guys, Jordan Love and Kyler Murray.
Okay, yeah. So just in its own tier, I've got Jordan Love ranked considerably higher than most people, I imagine, and Kyler Murray probably as well. Um, but you know what? Like, I really like these guys. I think they're both great players. I think they're going to play for a long time. They're both very young. They both, have decent supporting casts. I think like there's room for improvement there, but I mean, Marvin Harrison was just added to Kyler's team, so I like them both a lot. Ahead of some guys that we'll see in the next tier, which may surprise some people.
Yeah, the Cardinals actually also recently signed Zay Jones, who, of course, was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Does that matter at all for you in terms of Kyler Murray getting something as some extra help as well?
It doesn't really affect me in terms of how I view Kyler, but it does affect the depth chart. Like I think Michael Wilson probably takes a hit, but other than that, not really. I think Zay Jones is a good player, though.
Now, I can't do it for you. The inches we need are everywhere around us. What are you gonna do? Like! Subscribe! Subscribe!
Your next tier includes Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, and Brock Purdy.
Okay, yeah. So again, our second rookie here in Jaden Daniels, and I think some people will be shocked at these these rankings in particular because I imagine people have Anthony Richardson and Justin Herbert a little bit higher in their personal rankings, but I'm not a big fan of either of these guys. I think Justin Herbert took a hit this offseason, and even though I think he's like a great player, he's a phenomenal quarterback. I don't think he's going to put up the statistics that you want from your QB1. So for a long time, I think it is what it is. The Chargers want to run the ball. They don't have great receiving options around him. I don't expect a lot from him. I think he's going to be like probably a high end QB2, back end QB1. So that's reflected here in my rankings. And then Anthony Richardson, I need to see it. Like I need to see a full year of production from him before I can truly buy in. I've seen him ranked as high as like 5 and 6 on Keep Trade Cut, and I just can't put him that high. I need to see it for a full season. He needs to stay healthy, and I'm not sold yet. I need to see the passing ability. I know he can run the football. So that's why I have these guys a little bit lower than most. And then Jaden Daniels, who I've slotted in at number 11, phenomenal prospect and great rushing ability. So, like I said earlier about Lamar and Josh Allen, like I highly value rushing ability. And so I do have him high here.
Yeah, I've got Jaden Daniels higher than you, and I've got Herbert and Richardson lower than you. Just
Oh,
slightly,
wow.
just
Okay.
slightly in all those situations. But yeah, everything that you said for the exact reasons that you stated, but I'm just a little bit more extreme in both cases than you are on those guys. Let's take a look at your next tier with Dak and then McCarthy, Watson, May, and Tua. So you've got 2 more rookies here with JJ McCarthy and Drake May, 16 and 18 respectively.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like drafting either of these guys in startups, especially if you're going like with a productive struggle build, which I really love. I'd probably move them a little bit higher ahead of guys like Watson, right? Like I'm going to take May, excuse me. I'm going to take May ahead of Watson if I'm going productive struggle. But just if I have like I don't know, a team that's like going into year 3 or year 4, and I'm starting to compete. I'm pretty high on Watson myself. I think he's capable of returning to form. So I do have like Watson sandwiched between JJ McCarthy and Drake May because I do like him, even though I think most would probably have May ahead of Watson. And then, Tua, I'm a little bit lower on than most. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I just think he's been, a beneficiary of an excellent supporting cast. So I'm a little bit worried what happens when Tyreek is done with Tua. I don't know if he's got the staying power. So that's why he's there at the bottom of this tier.
Yeah, people have talked about quarterbacks being drafted by the Dolphins. So there does seem to be a little bit of concern. There were a lot of rumors of Penix perhaps going to Miami because of him being the lefty. And so it'd be a natural transition. Before we move on, there's one thing I do want to ask because it seems to be a hot topic in terms of McCarthy compared to May. A lot of people really like May over McCarthy. I agree with you that I like McCarthy over May. The big argument is typically landing spot versus perceived talent, right? But why do you have McCarthy ahead of May?
All right. Well, there's a few reasons. I had them pretty close pre-NFL draft. So I did like Drake May over him before the NFL draft. But listen, like the Viking situation is just so good. So like it's going to be hard for JJ McCarthy to fail with those receiving options. I feel like any like average quarterback could succeed there. There's just so many good receivers there to help him out. And then Drake May is the opposite of that. He doesn't have a lot of a good supporting cast, and we've seen what a poor supporting cast can do to a young quarterback, even a talented young quarterback. So I worry about that. And then I didn't love Drake May's tape from last year in college. So I'm not even sold he's like a great prospect. I think he's a better prospect than JJ McCarthy, but you know what? I'm not sold that he's a great prospect. So for me, the landing spot is just too good. And then you know what? He got drafted 10th overall. So he got top 10 draft capital. So he's going to get a bit of a runway in terms of um, like he's going to get a bit of a runway. So he's got room to fail. And I think he's got plenty of opportunity to succeed. So that's why I do have him over Drake May.
Yeah, like for me, the comparison I like to use is the way that Brock Purdy has thrived with San Francisco. That's who I see. Let's say compare him with JJ McCarthy as compared to, let's say, Zach Wilson, who failed in a poor system with the Jets. And, I think it shows that sometimes, like late talent that is not seen as great talent based on situation can succeed because of situation, especially in the quarterback position, which we have seen. Let's get to your final tier. Two more rookies here, starting off with Bo Nix, and then we've got Bryce Young, Will Levis, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Michael Penix Jr. So you've got the bookends of rookies here. Let's talk about these guys.
Sure. So this tier is like kind of, do you want the young unproven guy who might fail, or do you want like an established quarterback for a few more seasons who could help you win a championship? So that's why I have this tier as I've got Cousins and
Goff. Goff.
Goff,
Jared
yeah,
Goff.
thank you.
Yep.
I've got Cousins and Goff, two guys that can help you win now, and then I've got Bryce Young, Levis, two second-year quarterbacks who could take a step forward or could fail miserably, and then I've got the two rookies who are probably in a similar boat with Penix and Nix. Nix and Penix probably a lot more similar to Levis and Bryce Young in that they could succeed. They could move up a tier or two, and they could also fail miserably and a couple seasons they're looking to be replaced. So not so for Penix because he's not going to be playing for a couple more seasons, but you know what I'm saying. So that's why they're all here in the same tier.
Yeah, and once again, you've got Penix and Cousins in the same tier. Of course, they're on the same team. And like we've said before in previous videos, it might be a good idea if you have Cousins to somehow acquire Penix so that, that can seamlessly transition. And perhaps, as you mentioned before, you could end up with two starting quarterbacks in a couple of seasons out of that. Anyways, that is our top 25 quarterback rankings for 12-team SuperFlex Dynasty. I like the list overall. And once again, if you disagree, however, let us know. Let us know why or who you disagree with. Excuse me. If there's anyone you disagree with, let us know in the comment section below, as well as our Facebook group. Join our group to strike us up there with some conversations on who you think you like or dislike in this list. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on another edition of Fantasy Football Freaks.